Hey YouTube, Double 1 8 Set Shadow here again. Time for another Market Watch update for new stuff that's been going. We're mostly going to be going over a widespread, there's no real theme to it today, but some news updates to keep in mind. We've got the new Maple deck got announced, which is effectively just a grade 1 version of the grade 2 with a few more stipulations. And then the Messiah Premium set for its deck has been announced. As expected, it's basically like Chrono Jet, so nothing new to report on that front. But with that in mind, let's get started. First card I wanted to talk about today is a common from set 1 called Selfish Engraver. This card has two effects. When it hits, it soul charges, and at the end of the battle it attacked. If you have 10 or more cards in soul, you can put it to soul in order to countercharge. So this common has become a few dollars, and has been selling pretty consistently at this mark. There are several listings available in the $2 range, so you probably don't have to worry about it going much higher anytime soon. But then you've also got the hollow foil version, which has also been selling pretty consistently at the $9 rate. You do have one lister with 18 copies under that mark, but their shipping is a little bit higher. But this card has been trending upward. It's just a generic Dark States that you can use in almost any deck. Normally you use it in Barrow Magnus, and in Premium Vanguard you might see use of this card just to ensure you can countercharge. Otherwise though, this card is definitely something you want to get your hands on if you can, because I don't think it's getting any reprints soon. Next one I wanted to go over is Inlet Pulse Dragon. I really should have gone over this one on my last Market Watch, but forgot to. But Inlet Pulse Dragon is from D Set 4, and has overall been Ooh, I didn't notice that. Looks like someone bought 3 copies for $30 each today. But this card has been sitting in the $20 range for a while now. And with Maelstrom support getting announced this week, there is a chance that this card could pop off. From what I remember, Maelstrom is supposed to be supportive of tier dragons as well as its own multi-attack combo setup. And as you can see, Inlet Pulse Dragon is a tier dragon. So even though one of its effects for restanding is specific to Flagberg, this card could see use in Maelstrom depending on how the support goes. So if you wanted to pick up Inlet Pulses, I know there's been a lot of hesitation around it, especially since the only decks that really make use of it are Flagberg, the former Magnolia Elder build, and we'll see if Maelstrom can use it too. If it can, though, expect this card to go up pretty drastically. You'll see another reason why on my next mention. But there's also the SP, which is down to 3 listings. And this one has been buying at $40 pretty consistently. But given that there are only 3 listings, if Maelstrom blows this thing out of the water, it's going to end up like this brainwashed swirler, which is from the same set. I covered this on one of my last Market Watches and said to pick this up at the $35 mark. Now the card is only available for $55. And this is just a triple R. With Lukier having gotten announced, and set 7 on the horizon for more Barrow Magnus support, Drag Jewel support, and also, I forgot to mention last time, Chrono Jet support. This card is an option to play for Chrono Jet decks that are going to come out in D format soon. Hopefully, Bushiroad starts to take notice of these ridiculous price hikes, and hopefully they will start reprinting some of these cards. But to that same point, even if a reprint does occur, the SPs are not, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They're being bought at the $50 mark, above the $50 mark, and there's only one listing for 80. So just hope that a bunch of these end up back on the market for the $50, $60 range. If they do and you really want them, you might want to go for them, because I don't think this card can get lower on the SP standpoint. Then I just wanted to go over some of the promos for D. Looking at result of the experiment henceforth, they are still sitting pretty around the $50 and then plus $60 range. They were selling for over 100, or actually they were selling for 100 for a little while now, but they are slowly making their way back down, except until there is some concrete result from the next set of BCS tournaments, this card is not going to drop very far. If it does, I don't think it can go any lower than 25 for the non-foil version. As for the foil version, I can't really say, but that one will probably stay in the $60 range for quite a while. If you're looking for Resolute Pair of Eyes for Aroa, which I don't think that many people play this deck, but apparently it's still the second most popular of that promo pack. It's $15 now. Let's see what else is available here. Oh, it's been selling closer to 20, but that was several days ago, so I guess the price is starting to fall out. Kagula for Orphis has also begun to fall out. The foil copy is now $6 and dropping. Then you've got Foresight Glow Sorceress, which has a huge discrepancy. And then another one to go talk about is Blue Dragon Shelling Cannon, which this card is specific to Flagberg for any real usage, but this card sells at 15 pretty consistently. And then whenever it gets bought out and goes to the $20 mark, you always seem to find more of them getting listed shortly afterwards. So try not to buy this any higher than 15, because if you find it at the $20 mark or higher, there is a fair chance that you're going to see $15 or lower ones show up on the market in a day or two. The common version of Resolute Pair of Eyes is now under $10. And then after that, you just get into some of the fodder. Like One Who Governs Chaos is still not getting any value increases, despite the fact that Chaos has been getting a lot of hype recently. The regular Kagula is only $5, so buying the foil is probably better at this point for just the $2 increase. Then you have Candelaria, which is intended for Roroa, and that has been going down pretty fast. Then you've also got Elementaria Sanctitude, which is at the $15 mark right now. If you still have those trial decks available to you at $20, you might as well pick those up, since you're basically buying this guy for $15 and then you're buying the rest of the thing for just $5. It's worth at this point if you can find the trial deck for $20. I was just talking about this guy, One Who Governs Chaos, but this card is getting lower and lower as more prints end up on the market with tournaments. I don't know where this is going to end up going. Chaos has new support, but at the same time, it just does not get the hype that all the other glitter bosses get. So this card may not go anywhere for a while. But if you do want to play Chaos, you could at least pick up the... Let me see if the foil has any lower listings right. No, it's still $5 minimum. Yeah, at this point, I think it can still get lower, so I'd say wait it out a bit longer. But for the rest of the Chaos support, I talked about it in one of my prior market watches. Those are already bottomed out as far as they can go. You better pick them up before they really take off for some reason. And then I mentioned Messiah got announced today, so I wanted to take a look back at Chrono Jet Dragon. In particular, some of these high rarity ones that you will be able to play in D format despite these being old G format versions. I feel for the guy who ended up selling these at hype over here, because now this card, it sold once for over 200, and I have seen plenty of people ask for around 180 in Facebook several times, and they sold it. Then you've got the signed foil for 45 minimum, and it sold a few days ago for 45. So, and then you take a look at the foil and the common, which for some reason the common is higher than the foil. Why? The foil is selling for 9. There's listings underneath that. What about the common? The common, it sold for 19 a little while ago, but not recently. The other versions of Chrono Jet Dragon are dollars at this point. Then you've got this is this the... No, that's the V version. That one doesn't count. But moving on, we talked about Messiah and we talked about Chrono Jet. So taking a look at what's to be expected for Messiah, if Alter Ego Messiah ends up like Chrono Jet, you can expect this SP to go back up in value. Some looks like people bought into the hype of this card more recently with today's announcement, because but the thing about Alter Ego Messiah is that I don't think it has the same like popularity rate that Chrono Jet Dragon does. So even if these do go up, I don't think it'll be as crazy as Chrono Jet Dragon is. Though Messiah is a popular sub archetype, so they'll go up, I'm certain. But then I'm curious about what will happen to the common and the triple R of the trial deck. Because you can see, despite the announcement today, these aren't selling that hot. This is the triple R version, and that is not selling for more than $1.50 right now. There are plenty of $1, $2 listings, and then you've got the common version, which is also selling around the dollar mark at this point. So, if you really need your Alter Ego Messiahs, well, you're not going to need them if you're picking up the deck because it is getting printed in the deck. But if you want this artwork, pick up the common, or if you can find the triple R lower, just pick up the triple R. I feel like they'll go up at least a little bit, but I don't think it'll be like Chrono Jet level hype. And to wrap up today's Market Watch, I want to talk about Dragonic Overlord The End. So, next year we're supposed to be getting a promo that further supports Overlord The End's deck type. And with that in mind, there has been a undulation in the triple rares price. The card is now selling for around the $9 mark, but a little while ago it got hyped to the point of $16 and was selling very close to $20. There are still several listings at that rate, but there are listings available now at the $10 or lower rate for that. The SP hasn't gotten that much love. It has been getting bought more recently at the $25 rate, but it did dip into the $15, $18 territory range. And we'll just have to see what happens with that, because you have the SP, which is the low end of the entire rarity scope of this card in D format. You have the 10th rare SP version, which is the original artwork with Kai Toshiki sitting on top of it, now at the $45 rate or higher. And then you have the secret rare version, which is a beautiful piece of art. Though it's at 280 right now, oh no. Oh no, people are buying into it. I did not think that this was going to happen yet, but it looks like it's starting to happen. So, if you were trying to get into Overlord The End for its high rarity, you may be too late. Now you'll have to start paying in more at this rate, but we'll see what happens. There are still 4 listings available, and if more of them end up on the market, I imagine they'll at least go to the $225, $250 mark. And that's a wrap for today's Market Watch. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something new, and best of luck in picking up your cards. Thanks, guys, and I will see you later.